What's up, guys? So today I'm coming at you with another tech deck build. This one you can make for under probably 35 bucks, 40 bucks. It is a Planeswalker build from a Planeswalker that you guys probably haven't seen in a while, and you have probably forgotten about him. It is Ral, however you say his name. I'm retarded, so I don't know. But this is a deck that I put together to just have fun with. It's actually a rather strong deck, and it is a control burn deck. Let me show you how to make this. I call this deck the Dawg Ral. So first things first, there are some adventure cards in here, and if you haven't played the adventure cards or storybook cards yet, they're a lot of fun actually. You can use your card twice essentially. But you're going to need an adventure card, which is, adventure is just exile that you can bring back. So you're going to need that. And we're going to get into our lands. You want two Exit Guild Gates, and you know, comes in tapped, but when you untap it, you can add it for either or on your islands or your mountains. Then you're going to do 10 islands and 10 mountains. You're going to need your Planeswalker, your Ral, Caller of the Storms. You want this one because you can draw a card, and then you can -2 loyalty, and you deal 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. That's including the player. And then as ulti, draw 7 cards. Ral the Caller deals 7 damage to each creature your opponent controls. That's pretty much a fuck you, get your creatures off of here. Don't worry about me until then, because I don't really do anything. But that's a pretty strong card for a control. Then, your storybook, you want your Queen of Ice. There's going to be a couple storybooks on here. And, so, she is a creature, human noble wizard. You can pay 1 island and then 1 of anything for the sorcery adventure, and that's tap a target creature, and it doesn't untap during its controller's next untapped turn. So that creature can't block you for two turns. Then when you play, if you don't know how to play the adventure, if you're using the storybook adventure, you're going to then set it over in your exile, and then later in the game for the 3 extra cost, you can then play your Queen of Ice again, and she is going to do combat damage to the tapped creature, and it doesn't untap during its controller's next step. So she does damage, and it taps the creature, and it doesn't untap. So that is another control card. Really good adventure card. You want your Maximize Altitude for a sorcery, and target creature gets a 1/1 and gains flying until the end of the turn. So you don't necessarily need a flyer, but you can put your Queen of Ice and make it a flyer, and not a lot of people usually have flying blockers, so for a 1 cost, that's an awesome sorcery, and you can also jumpstart it, and you may cast it from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its costs. And then you exile it. So you can use this card twice. You want your Leapfrog as a creature. And Leapfrog has flying as long as you've cast an instant or a sorcery spell this turn. You got a blue, so you might as well have a ton of instants and sorceries. So he's pretty much always going to have flying. Then you want your Ral's Dispersal as an instant. Return a target creature to its owner's hand. You may search your library and or graveyard for a card named Ral, Caller of the Storm, reveal it, and put it into your hands. So this is your instant that's going to bring out your Planeswalker. you want 2 of those. Get your Omnispell Adept, creature, human wizard. Hits for 3/4, and you may cast as an instant or sorcery card from your hand without paying its mana cost. So that one's going to make you, or going to allow you, this creature is going to allow you to play instants and sorceries for free. Well, for that cost, if it's less than what it is. So, another good one to throw. You want your Vidalcan Mesmerist. I have no idea how to say that. But he is a creature, he's a Vidalcan wizard, and he attacks. A creature an opponent controls gets -2 until the end of the turn. So this one you can essentially hit a creature, bring him down to 0/0, and take him off the battlefield. And then you can swing. So it's a good early creature to bring in. Going to run you 2 of those. The Pass Wall Adept. It's another creature, human wizard. And the target creature can't be blocked this turn. So he's an unblockable card. It's a good one. You're going to get you some Tomb Raider fairies. These, when you bring them onto the battlefield, you can draw a card. And they all have flying. So flying creatures in a blue, spell slinger, control deck. That's low hits, but you can ping them to death. Get you 2 of those. Murmuring Mystic. Yeah, I can't talk. I feel like I've been drinking some, but I have not. Another human wizard, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 blue illusion bird creature token with flying. So this one, if you can get this out pretty early and play it along the entire game, you're going to get a lot of tokens, a lot of flying tokens. So he's a good blocker, so you don't really ever want to tap him to attack. Just use him to get those tokens and then attack with the tokens. Good one. Just run one of those. Here's where you're going to start to control. A Frogify. The enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a blue frog creature with base power and toughness of 1/1. We've all heard of Oko's green elks, green 3/3 elks. Yeah, the Frogifies are a lot more control because they're 1/1, and you can turn any creature into a 1/1. So if somebody wants to throw out a Genesis Hydra on you, just Frogify it. So you want to do 2 of those. And now you want to get into your mountains, your reds, and this is when you're going to burn them. So you want Precision Bolt, and it deals 3 damage to any target. That is any creature or planeswalker or player. Run you 4 Precision Bolts. Get you a Hellkite Whelp, and it is flying, and it deals 1 damage to a target creature defending player controls. So you can, if the player decides to block with a 1/1 token, go ahead and get rid of that, and that creature's gone. And then you're still going to swing at them for 3/3. Yeah, Hellkite Whelp is not a burn card, but it's a card that is going to be tough to get off the battlefield. So he's a good creature to throw out there and just keep hitting, because you're essentially going to hit them for 4 every time. Well, maybe. But if they don't have anything on the ground, then you're going to hit them for 3. So just one of those. The Direct Current. Direct Current deals 2 damage to any target, and you can jumpstart it. So you can play it from your graveyard for your jumpstart cost. And that dealing 2 to any target, again, you're dealing it to the planeswalker, the player, or creatures. So it's a low cost. It is a burn card. Get you 2 of those. And then you want your Embereth Paladin. He has haste, so as soon as he gets on there, you can attack with him. He doesn't have summoning sickness. And he's adamant, so if at least 3 red mana are spent to cast this spell to put him on the battlefield, he goes onto the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it, so that makes him a 5/2 with haste right off the bat if you're spending 3 or more. So if you spend 4 red mana on him, he's whatever. Or if you spend 3 red mana and 1 blue, he's going to come out really hard, really fast. So just want one of those. You want your Fearless Hellbirdier. You want this axe-wielding lady. She's a human warrior, and nothing really special about her, but she is a low cost and a heavy hitter. And run you 2 of her. Going back into your storybooks, you want your Embereth Shieldbreaker. Why? Because for 1 red, you can destroy a target artifact. So people who's running artifact decks on you, you can get rid of that. Put him over in your adventure. Play him later for his 2 mana cost. And what does he do? Comes swinging at you for 2. And then you can play him again for the destroy target artifact. And then you can exile the card, like, completely. So, you want to get you one of those. And then you want Command the Storm. Why? Because it deals 5 damage to a target creature. So, at this point, when you're playing these are just eliminating your opponent's battlefield. Yeah. You want to eliminate that battlefield so then your smaller tokens that you have can now start really pummeling the opponent. Get you 2 of those. Your Searing Barrage. It's an instant, and he deals 5 damage to a target creature, and he's also adamant. And so, if you spend 3 or more, and he's cost 5, so if you spend 3 or more red, he deals 3 damage to the target creature's controller, so the player is also getting 3 damage, along with 5 damage to whatever creature. Another one to get rid of creatures on the field. Kind of a high cost, so you really only want 1 of him. Your Rubble Belt Boar. You can actually put any boar in this deck. This is just the lowest cost one that I found that works the best. Why does he work the best? Because when he enters the battlefield, the target creature, so any target, can get +2, +0 until the end of the turn. So he can be a 5/3, or one of your flying 1/1s can then be a 3/1. He's a lower cost for a boar, but boars can get nasty. When you got red and you don't want to do burn damage, get your boars, because they're going to up all your creatures, and you're going to want that with red. You want to get some trample in there, so you want a Fire Urchin. And the Fire Urchin has trample with 1, and whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery spell, he gains 1 more until the end of the turn. So trample carries over. So if somebody tries to block him and has less than 3 on blocking him, and you're attacking for 2, so they're only blocking you for 1, your opponent's still taking 1 damage. That carries through. Only run 1 of him. And now you want some Goblin Electromancer. It's a Goblin Wizard. It is an instant and a sorcery spell. You cast cost 1 less. So this creature is a 2/2, but if you can get him out really early, all your sorcery spells and instants cost 1 less. So you could probably run some spells for free. Amazing card to have. So you want to do 1 of him. Your next one, you want to do a Sonic Assault, and you can tap a target creature, and Sonic Assault deals 2 damage to that creature's controller. So that the opponent's taking 2 damage, and then they're getting a creature tapped, so they can't block with that creature. And then you can jumpstart, so you can also play this from your graveyard for the jumpstart cost. You only want 1 of those. And then you want Wheeze Dragonauts, and that is a fairy wizard with flying, and you can cast an instant or sorcery spell, and the Dragonaut gets a +2 until the end of the turn. So he will be a 3/3 if you cast an instant or a sorcery when you cast this. You want to get you 2 of those. Good cards to have. And then you want Ral's Staticaster. Ral's Staticaster. He is a trample, and this player can deal excess damage, combat damage, to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. So carries through. He's a 3/3, so they're going to want something 3 or higher to block him. And whenever Ral Staticaster attacks, if you control a Ral Planeswalker, the Staticaster gains a +1 for each card in your hand until the end of the turn. So he can get really, really big if your Planeswalker's out. Like, if you have 7 cards in your hand at the time, let's say, for example, he'll be a 10/3 right off the bat with Trample carrying through. Huge card. Or potentially. Get you 3 of those. And that's it for Dawg Ral. For under $40, you can make a command burn deck that is going to hold up to just about any player. It's a fun deck to play. You can get a lot of laughs out of it, and you're going to have a lot of what the fuck faces from your friends when you're pulling off some combos in here, because there's some massive combos. And another alternative card that you can throw in that deck for even more fun and more what the fucks is an artifact creature, and it is called Steel Squirrel. It's a very low cost. You can buy that for like, I think it's like I think you can buy it for like under $1. It's a fun card. I'll put a photo of it in here so you can see what it is, and maybe you like it and throw it in there. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this deck, and as always, you know, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys want to see for the next ones.